A Konkiri Night, a Kiri Kilovolt fanfic, by Pack. The yawn caught Kiri off guard, and she couldn't quite catch it in time before it seemed to swallow her whole face. She rubbed her eyes and blinked hard. The mountain pass lookout was dead, as it usually was this late into the night, so she found herself just staring into the stars, wishing she could drive faster. Sonic was in the passenger seat, manning the airwaves and listening out for police radios, complete with walkie-talkie and ham connections. He took it very seriously. The radio echoed with an electronic ping, seemingly to nothing. Kiri shivered as the breeze rolled over the mountain and zipped her racing jacket up as far as it would go. "Sonic, pour me some coffee," she called out over the bonnet, but Sonic was too engrossed to notice her plea. Dejected, she slumped down in front of the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 and let out a loud groan, arms covering her stomach. After a moment, she gave a sly look around the car park, again to check if the coast was clear. Slowly, she unzipped her jacket slightly and drew out a suspect picture. "Oh, my Speedy McQueenie," she sighed, tenderly touching the small portrait of Lightning McQueen, star of several feature films such as Cars, Cars 2, Cars 3, and others. She just knew her one true love would understand her. Kiri knew Lightning would race and coach her and teach her lines and push her to go faster and maybe bake cookies with her. He was her actual, real Oshi, after all, and they were very much married and in love in the real world. Sonic looked over, contemplating the scene for a moment, before going back to the radio, pretending he'd seen nothing. Kiri sighed lovingly. She could see it now, his warm rubber tires guiding her as she felt out the natural groove of the road, just like the plot of the 2008 movie Speed Racer with Emil Hirsch. Another electronic ping, and this time light engine revving could be heard coming from the radio. Some half-mile away, a mysterious racer was trimmed out, all in black, with heavy bass playing from his low-riding Vauxhall Corsa. Kiri was engrossed in her photo, and the mountain trees prevented her from hearing his impending arrival, as Kiri sighed again and hugged the portrait. Sonic had gotten enthralled with the radio's gold wires. They looked like gold rings, so didn't notice the radar either. The racer was clearly spoiling for a battle and was barreling down the mountain, coming perilously close to losing it on many a turn. The racer hadn't gone unnoticed, however. The eponymous driver, Max Verstappen, crossed his arms and frowned as he peered up the mountain, looking through binoculars. He had reasoned that perhaps he could get away with absconding from his Formula One duties for a short time, just long enough to explore the town and scout out some fresh racing talent. But it seemed as though he had landed himself in a tricky situation. He spied the Nissan driver, an orange and brown-haired giraffe girl. Whoever she was, she hadn't noticed the threat racing its way down the mountain. Suddenly, a loud pop, and one of the tires on the Corsa burst. Despite this, the mysterious racer appeared to be determined to finish his tofu delivery. Verstappen looked away from his binoculars and froze. This could be bad. He had to hold himself back from intervening. No one knew he was here, and he could get in trouble if he was seen. The Corsa screeched down the mountain, finally aware that he didn't have the control he had imagined. Kiri was making kissy faces at the photo now, and still hadn't noticed the imminent danger. Verstappen revved up his car, still unsure of what exactly to do. He realized the Corsa was heading straight for the lookout, and wouldn't be able to stop in time. Sonic, still staring at the gold wires, saw the racer coming over the mountain crest, and started to honk the horn. Kiri, noticing Sonic's frantic shadow, flippantly flapped a hand in his direction, eyes still on Lightning. As the Corsa approached the hairpin turn, Verstappen arrived at the scene. It didn't matter if he got seen. Someone was in danger. With a flick of his fender, he blocked the road, forcing the Corsa driver into the ditch and slowing him down just enough not to total his car when he slammed into the barrier, meters from Kiri's Nissan Skyline. Kiri cried out in one of her trademark screams as she was brought to her senses by the sound of fiberglass breaking. She whipped around to see a Corsa driver scrambling for the gear shift, groaning as he did so. Instinctively, she stood up and headed to the car door, frantically looking for her racing gloves. Before she could get seated, the Corsa driver took his chance and bolted away down the mountain. In a flash, Kiri reached into the passenger seat, grabbed Sonic, and threw him at the Corsa's direction. Sonic spin attack through the car window, smashing into the driver and knocking him unconscious. Sonic quickly applied the handbrake, with the racer sprawled over the wheel of his battered machine, steam rising from his 1.5-litre Turbo D Volkswagen engine. Kiri took a deep breath. Sonic popped out no worse for wear and proceeded to stumble onto the tarmac with an expression of triumph. Kiri smiled and was about to go for the phone when she noticed Verstappen, still parked on the mountain road behind her. Verstappen flinched, realizing he was now visible, and with a flick of his wrist put the car into first gear. He moved to leave, hoping to shroud himself in the mountain trees. Wait! Max paused, glancing back. Kiri was looking up at him, imploringly, eyes wide, face soft. Thank you. It's all right, Verstappen replied uncomfortably. He was very socially awkward. Think nothing of it. You saved me. That's nothing. Far from it. I still owe you so much. Kiri trailed off, still staring up at Verstappen. Will you come to the mountain again? Can I challenge you to a race? Verstappen looked down, gripping the steering wheel. He knew he wasn't supposed to, but something about the way that giraffe stared so earnestly at him made saying no impossible. I'll think about it. Kiri whooped and jumped for joy. It's a race, then! Max's eyes widened in shock as he tried to get a response out before electing to drop the clutch and escape up the mountain and off into the night. Kiri beamed at where Verstappen had been, only being brought back to reality by the shout from Sonic. Hurrying to the phone, she picked it up and started dialing the emergency services. Later on that night, once the hustle and hubbub of the Corsa driver's arrest for dangerous driving and her own testimony to the police was settled, Kiri finally found herself tucked up in bed and cuddling a Sonic plush. The picture of Lightning McQueen was sat on her bedside table, but strangely enough, unlike most nights, she didn't feel the urge to try and dream about him. Instead, she thought of the ethereal racer who had helped rescue her from danger. Her chest filled with an unfamiliar feeling, and a smile crept onto her lips as she turned over. Maybe, just maybe, she could allow herself to hope that the Formula One star would come back. She knew they would just get along, if only they could meet again. And if they did meet again, somewhere, somehow, perhaps they could be rivals. Kiri liked that idea very much, and was soon sound asleep, dreaming of what could be.